Anyway, what's up everyone, and here we are again with another episode of Real Time with Dan. Okay, I know a lot of you are going to be very quick to point out the fact that my hair is getting unbelievably long right now, and yes, it is, but the fact is all the hairdressers have been closed, so it is pretty much completely whack beyond all recognition. I know some people probably say something like, oh, it looks like they've had an argument with your eyebrows and has now receded to give it some room. Well, I tell you what, if all of you are going to say things like that, well, hit me with your best shot, why not? Anyway, onto the video. And it appears that I appear to be making this quite a bit of a weekly thing as of yet, and I just said appeared twice, now 3 times, but whatever. The fact is, I feel like it's a video series I'm actually quite comfortable with now, and to be honest with you, I know it's only the second time I've done this in a week, and yet I took well over a month off, but that doesn't really matter. The fact is, sometimes I just need a bit of recuperation, and sometimes it's just pure laziness. But anyway, we move on, and that's enough of that. So anyway, let's bring it up to a bit of speed. Well, I think first thing you may notice is I've actually sort of got reacquainted with this microphone again, and I used this in the last episode because I don't know what it is, but there's something about this mic that I feel is really underrated. It's really smooth, it sounds great to my ears, and I just love it. I would use my Aston Stealth, but I don't know what it is. Every time I use it, and every time that I put it into the audio workstation, I always find there's a bit of a hiss behind it. I find that there's noise in a certain part of the frequency response, but I don't know. I also just think this microphone just sounds better, and, well, it looks funky, and I know a lot of people will say it looks silly, but it is called the Neat King Bee after all, so anyway. So that's enough about the audio, but what else have I been doing? Well, I've managed to dig out my old GoPro Hero 7 again, and I've actually been using it in the car again, not as a vlog camera, but as more or less just a dash cam. But I decided to actually record a time lapse the other day. Nothing super exciting, but you know, something to at least consider. And I actually did post it on Instagram and Facebook, so be sure you check my socials down below so you can watch that. It's only about 20 seconds long anyway, but I hopefully will be using it a lot more. Because admittedly, I don't know what it is, but there's something very satisfying about the old hyperlapse feature. It really does make you realise how much technology has moved on, really. I don't know, it seems so in my eyes. But anyway, and that really gives me a little bit more opportunity to use it, because I've really neglected using that, and I have to really I think the problem with me is I have really underestimated the power of that camera. It's super amazing. I know it's not anything amazing like cameras like what's right here, but it's still able to hold its own, and it can still hang in there. So I'm happy to have one. And I will never be getting a Hero 9 anytime soon. I've got better plans. And well, today, in fact, that actually brings me to today, because I actually went for a walk with a couple of friends of mine, Ryan and Paige. But yeah, well, as I say, we went for a walk over Conningbrook Park, is what it's called, pretty much by a couple of big lakes, and I think it's fantastic out there. The only real difficulty we had was that the wind was blowing constantly, and we had a little bit of a photo session. We just kept trading the camera in between us, so I'll probably flash up a few of them on the screen, but yeah, that was a pretty good day out. And fair to say, the actual walking and exercise portion of me alone has actually improved drastically, because I think this week I haven't missed a day since Wednesday of me exercising, because I actually have been walking more or less every day. And even I'm in shock, because I don't really do that. I tend to just be lazing around on my bed or sitting on the couch, drinking loads and loads of Fanta, eating chocolate, and just doing nothing. So that just shows how amazing my life is at the moment. And yes, it's not fun. Don't do it. But yeah, and apart from that, I mean, the exercise part of it is, the exercising and all it's all well and good. It's keeping me on my toes, it's keeping me busy, it's keeping my mind stimulated, and it's also keeping me focused, I'd say. And I think that's the important part. If you need motivation to go out and exercise, I think you probably may have it here. You exercise, or you just go for a little walk. You find that you find your straight face starts to turn into a slight grin. I don't know. I seem to find whenever I get home, I feel more happy, and that's definitely a huge pro and a big positive for me. But yes, and I would say going out to town the other day was definitely a bit of a bonus. I don't know. It seemed familiar, and it seemed like deja vu. because I always used to go into town for comfort. I always used to go to many places. In fact, walking into H&M again was definitely a huge pro. I always love H&M clothes. I always buy them. But again, I was really just having a browse. I wasn't really intending to go in there and buy much. And in fact, I came out empty-handed. So, yeah, it's been nice to be able to go and see people and go and do things, because that's what the whole part of the relaxation was. Going out to see people, just, as long as you stay in groups of 6 or less. And that's fair enough. I'm definitely not going to be revoking the government or saying anything rude about it, because we're all trying to survive this whole pandemic. We're all trying not to catch COVID, and yet it's still around us to this day. But the vaccination program is still going on strong, and we seem to be, and I do think in general, we are definitely seeing a lot more, I'm seeing less complacency. That's the word. Yes. So everyone, I think, has become less complacent, as we can see in the data. So I'm very happy to say that, and it's pleasing, and it definitely lets me know that the opening of Flip Out is definitely inevitable. It's in a month's time, and truth be told, I am absolutely dying to go there. Absolutely dying. And hopefully, I'm sure everyone is going to be eager to see some videos there, because admittedly, I've got loads of ideas in that boat, and Ryan is definitely willing to get back out there. On YouTube, maybe not. I don't know. It's a bit hit and miss in my opinion. Still, it's worth a try. Who knows? It could be the next best thing. But yes, and well, really, another thing that I actually have been noticing. Well, someone actually messaged me this on Instagram and said that, well, basically, with the introduction of electric vehicles, I say electric vehicles, I should say electric assisted vehicles such as scooters, bicycles and skateboards, because they're banned, he actually said to me that it's ridiculous. And in a way I do agree. I understand that people these days, they want to get around quicker rather than having to walk. An electric skateboard or a scooter or a bike, it makes it that little bit easier to get to work or get to where you need to be. But there's a reason why. The reason why that we can't go out onto public roads and stuff without getting pulled over by the police is because at the moment they're legally calling them motor vehicles, which is understandable. And there's not really much we can do about that. But the only slight little upside is that Canterbury and other places in the UK are undergoing a trial so you can rent them. So in other words, you see in London, you get bike rental stations, but now some places are going to be offering electric scooters as for rental use. So more or less kind of like a daily commute sort of thing, and then you'd return it. And I can see that working out. But again, if you're actually buying them permanently and going to be using it every day, I do think there should be, maybe some paperwork, but I wouldn't say. I'd say restriction-wise, it is a bit unfair. I do agree with what everyone says, they should be used, but again, the safety of other people, I think, comes first. Because what if suddenly one of them veers off the road, or what if you say you parked it somewhere, and the thing is, you need a tracker, because what if someone steals it? If someone steals it, then that's 500 quid down the drain. So again, you need a tracker, you need an alarm, you need maybe a chain. And this is the thing, all those things combined, you could be spending more on that for the first month than it is to pay for a car, or even just to freely walk. I don't know. That's really just me. I don't know. It's really one of those things, because electric vehicles, they definitely have their place in this world. I know that some people will say they're way ahead of their time. I agree to disagree on that one. I do feel they have a place. I think people can get by with them. I know that, for example, mobility scooters, they're obviously limited to 4 or 5 miles an hour. But again, this is just one of those things. When things go faster, they have to be treated as a motor vehicle, according to the UK driving laws. And this is the thing. We can't argue too much until they start to show evidence that they actually can be used safely on the footpaths and the roads. And this is the thing. And then and the thing is, next thing you know, there'll be electric motorbikes. I'm sure they're probably nearly here by now. Admittedly, I will say today, actually, I was considering vlogging while I was out there at the Conningbrook Park, But I just think when there are people around, including if I'm walking with people, like, for example, friends or anyone else, I get very self-conscious. And again, I just don't fancy pointing the camera at myself. It's a lot to ask. Sounds a bit silly, but you know, I just wasn't in the best of moods today. It was one of those things, I don't know, I can't seem to break through that barrier yet. I seem to be more self-conscious. I mean, to be fair, the vlogging in the car is definitely something that I am going to consider getting back, and I think, I'm not going to absolutely guarantee this, but I may do one tomorrow, and who knows, I might even include a bit of footage if I manage to shoot some while I'm outside, because again, I do walk on Saturdays as well. As you know, as I said before, I haven't missed a day of walking, apart from some days during the week, but apart from that, you know, days that I'm off, I have more or less the enough time to go out and have a little stroll, which is always a nice little handy reminder that I need to do more. And I know that didn't make any sense, and sometimes I don't. But anyway, I think I'm probably going to wrap up the video there. But honestly, you know what? I mean, it was a little bit of an update. It wasn't really anything too special, but there you go. Just a few little bits here and there. But anyway, I want to say thank you all for watching if you've watched this far already. And if you want to see more, be sure you hit the like button down below. And if you enjoy this channel and everything you see on it, be sure you subscribe and smash the bell icon so you don't miss any videos. And if you want to go and check out the socials, there'll be links down below. Apart from all that, be sure you take great care, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video.